piece of music is the equivalent of the phrase sanctuary sailor childish private torture. Those 5 words are not a sentence. They're just 5 words that I pulled off a random word generator. So together, each one of these words is completely meaningless, but individually, every one of these words does indeed have a meaning. This piece of music was lifted from the artwork of a Lego Harry Potter box set. But that doesn't mean each one of these little dots on the staff doesn't have meaning. Just like it is possible for me as an English speaker to say the words sanctuary sailor childish private torture, it is also possible for me as a musician to say this. Let's get weird with music. When I filmed that intro, I had no idea what I was about to get myself into. Me now, I've already got myself into it. And I know that if you watch to the end, you're gonna see probably the most cursed song you've ever seen or heard in your life. Enjoy. So I've blown this picture up to get a better look at the notes and figure out exactly what I'm supposed to play, and I've kind of noticed there seems to be a little miniature Kirby, and I don't entirely understand why. So step number 1 is we have to figure out which time signature this is in. Luckily, it's not too hard. I explained my process the last time I did a video like this. Go check it out as soon as you're done with this video, and then you will retroactively understand what I'm doing, which is the best way to understand things. Looks like the smallest note value we have is this 16th note right here, which is immediately followed by a 16th rest. So we can just go ahead and like round that up to an 8th note, if you will. This quarter note right here is the equivalent of 2 8th notes. There's 3, 4. This is 8 8th notes. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And we're playing in the very reasonable time signature of 18, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18. I can't even speak that fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 1. That's insane. We'll split the first 5 notes to just solid grouping to 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. How many groupings to 2 is that? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Way too confusing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Woo! That's how we're gonna split this up. I feel like that's what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have to a measure of 12 and a measure of 6. Learn those 2 measures separately and then put them together. Part 1 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is incredibly easy to play, like, notes-wise. But, I don't know if I've mentioned this yet, but it's an 18-8 time. Need to make it quite a bit more spunky, spunktacular. Ew. I hated that. This is so cool. This is so cool. This is so freaking cool. Spunktacular. This is so cool. This is so cool. This is so freaking cool. Spunktacular. I hope this sounds as cool tomorrow as it does today. Because that's a very real thing. When you write something, you think it sounds awesome, and then you come back the next day and you're like, ugh. there's this little decoration that's hanging up in my church, meant to inspire the praise team to put their best foot forward. God, please bless my music that it might glorify your name. May using it to serve you always be my aim. Let it be a witness to your majesty and love, and remind us that you're watching from your throne above. Right, it's a nice little poem, but that's not what we're interested in today. Behind these words is written some sheet music, and the sheet music was written by somebody who, the musician's prayer didn't really apply to. This one, lucky for me, is going to be just a little bit easier, and by a little bit easier, I mean a lot easier. And that's because every note on here is an eighth note, and there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. That's pretty much as easy as you can get. We have a measure of 4/4. That F just, oh, that does not sound good. And the reason for that is this feels like it's in D major. This is a very sensible melody to be in D major if that last note was an F sharp. And it would sound really good as this. Both of those sound quite nice. I'm gonna have to do a lot of work to make that not sound like a wrong note. Yeah, that's what I could do. This would be a really, really cool rap sample. And then we can rap the musician's prayer over that. God, please bless my music that it might glorify your name. Waka, waka, waka. This is the cheapest guitar I own. I paid $40 for this thing, I think. Alright, we're back for part 3, and I have saved the best for last, because this is probably the most cursed music notation I have ever seen in my life. So first of all, this is probably the first one I've ever seen that's been kind enough to involve a key signature so I know what key to play in. Unfortunately, it's not a real key signature. So basically there's 12 notes in an octave, and each one of these can have a major scale starting on that note. It's the exact same pattern of notes, just starting from a different place. If you were to write out all of the major scales, you would see some patterns start to emerge. One key where there is one sharp, there is one key when there is 2 sharps, so on and so forth. There's also one key with 1 flat, one key with 2 flats, so on and so on. So when I look at this piece of music and I see that there is 1 sharp symbol, I can deduce that we're playing in the key of G, which has 1 sharp, F sharp. Problem is, this sharp symbol isn't on the F, so fine. We'll just make up our own key signature where we put the sharp where it says to put the sharp, which is completely undiscernible. This is my favorite part. There's only 4 lines. Luckily, whoever made this left us some clues to know exactly where to put the extra line to fill in the gaps and play this piece of music. If we were to put it at the bottom, we run into 2 problems instantly. One, the treble clef, also called the G clef because it circles the G line, would no longer be circling the G line, it would be circling the B line. Now that's not the biggest deal in the world. When I do these cursed music notations, I often just don't pay attention to the treble clef because it's often the wrong size or in the wrong place. But the second problem we run into isn't so fallible. If we were to put the line on the bottom, then the sharp in the key signature would be E sharp. E sharp is the exact same note as F. It's silly, I know, but that's just how it is. That would make that space and that line exactly the same note, which is just a whole lot of nonsense that we don't have to deal with if we just put that line up at the top. So it doesn't really solve our problem about this not being like a real key, but it does solve our problem with this being unplayable. It's playable, it's just gonna be weird, which just so happens to be my catchphrase. So already we agree that this is an insane piece of music that is insanely insane, but we haven't even talked about the time signature yet, because this is probably the worst time signature I've ever dealt with. Our smallest note value is a 16th note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. We are in, drum roll please, 41:16 time. 41:16 time. Hey, don't mind me, just had a small aneurysm there. Definitely counted to 43 and then for some reason still dubbed it as 41:16 anyway. It's 43:16. I will edit out the mistakes. 43/16 notes per measure, and there is no way to simplify that further. 43:16 time. I have no idea how I'm gonna pull this one off. And to make matters worse, this is just a bunch of bad intervals back to back to back. These are the first two notes together. These are the second and third notes together. That's a tritone followed by another tritone. The fourth and fifth notes together are a major 7. This is just a bad piece of music. I have no idea how I'm gonna make this sound. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can hear this being played on like a trumpet. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1. Ah! This is going to be one of the biggest challenges I've ever had, so subscribe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm counting louder than the Met. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and 1, and the 1 and the 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We appreciate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. I'm pretending in the oddly specific scenario that I'm writing the score for a movie about a beautiful alien planet. What's that? A Lost Planet with like Olimar and little Pikmin. They're all running around. Ignore it. It's just the aneurysm. This is the vibe it gives me. It's just like beautiful nature shot, but we're playing as a character who's like 2 millimeters tall or something like that and has little colorful onions that follow him around. So there's like, it's a little foreign, it's a little weird, but it's still beautiful and harmonious nonetheless. Hey, did you enjoy that video? If not, I got great news for you. It's over. But if you did enjoy it, you might want to click right here and you'll find another video just like this one that you also probably will enjoy. If you don't want to watch me do pretty much the same thing again, I understand. You're holding yourself to a higher standard. Good on you. Click this video and watch me play with ChatGPT and make a song about potatoes. See you in the next one.